And welcome to Cruise Control, everyone. It's Fred Staub and Les Jackson. We're just getting ready to fire off a full hour of great automotive information and news. Got a lot, Les. The big question this hour, what's a Fratzog? Do you know what a Fratzog is? Don't tell, because we...
That's actually the name I used to dance under. I have no idea.
Well...
But we're going to both find out.
Yes, it's a piece of automotive history that's making a comeback.
That's right.
Big news, too, at Stellantis. All their electric plans were revealed this week, so we're excited about that. And Musk says he's going to blow your mind, Les Jackson.
He does say that. We'll see. I'm sure something will be interesting and controversial.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, we'll have more of that when we come back on Cruise Control with Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Stay tuned.
This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And yes, your ride has begun. Welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I am one of your two affable hosts, Les Jackson. The other extremely nice guy is Fred Staub, and we are here. There he is. Each and every week, we are live, and we, as usual, have a ton of material to talk about, things we've been driving, and a lot of electricity.
Yeah, we sure do, Les. There's a lot going on, and the big story this week is Stellantis. They had their electric vehicle day that was filled with new product information from Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. The future looks pretty exciting, especially when it comes to Dodge. We'll talk about that at length.
We will. And once again, chip woes everywhere. It continues with GM, and Cadillac is eliminating a feature you may not even be aware of, just because they don't have chips. Meanwhile, Ford says they found a way to build the 150 with all the features.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then I know this one's going to get you excited. Elon Musk says, I'm going to blow Les Jackson's mind today, right now,
Yes.
July 10th. And well, it's apparently about his new software update. We'll talk about that.
Absolutely. I am prepared to be annoyed once again.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we're going to be talking tech a little later. GM might have come up with a way, or they say they have, to make lithium production for batteries a lot safer, which would just be great.
Yeah, it sure would, and a lot less expensive, too. And we're going to talk about what's a Fratzog. Do you know what a Fratzog is, Les?
I'm afraid, the name, I know what it is, but I wouldn't have known. The name it doesn't seem to mean anything.
I think it's just one of those names that they created, just to have some fun. But we'll talk about it and why it is going to be found on one of Dodge's most advanced, most powerful vehicles.
And it'll be welcomed.
I think so. All that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Don't forget, check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com, where you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. It's all there. A lot going on. Instagram, too, Les Jackson. I know you're a big Instagrammer, right?
Yes. I just sent an Instagram by Western Union this morning.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to delve into what's going on at Stellantis, because there's a lot going on when it comes to electric vehicles. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staub, and we are going to jump in, we being Les Jackson and I, we are going to jump into the big news from Stellantis this week, Les. And if you haven't been following along, Stellantis was FCA before that.
That's right.
Chrysler. I only say that because we're going to be talking a little bit about some Chrysler history, right, coming up.
That is exactly right. It's just the new name for Fiat Chrysler.
Yeah, and we will be talking about that, and also there's a lot going on as far as electrification goes, and let's kind of tick them off little by little. All 14 brands, all 14 of them, will be electrified and offer best-in-class, fully electrified solutions. So they're not just talking about a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid or something like that. So these are going to be full BEVs, battery electric vehicles, Les. I know you like that name.
Right. They're investing 30 billion euros.
Right.
Through the next 4 years. That's not, that's not very long.
No. Big investment.
And it's, big investment. Obviously, this is very serious, very important. They have a lot of institutional expertise with all of their combined companies.
Yep, they sure do.
It's going to be interesting.
It is, and let's break into some of these things that they're talking about. They're going to have 4 different platforms that will meet the needs of the customers, with ranges from 300 to 500 miles of electric range, fast charging capability of 20 miles per minute, and these 4 flexible by design platforms will be scalable, and they'll have 3 electric drive modules and standardized battery packs to cover all brands and all segments. So everything from a minivan to a electro Hellcat, right?
This will be very cool. And, 20 miles per minute of charging is really rapid charging.
Yeah, that is definitely rapid charging. You and I wonder what that will do to batteries, right?
Man, it creates some serious current density heat. But, if you have the technology to cool it, it'll work.
Yeah. Sounds interesting, and we'll delve more into this. They even came up with slogans for each brand, like Abarth, hating up people but not the planet. Alfa Romeo, from 2024, Alfa Romeo becomes Alfa E Romeo.
That's cool.
Yeah. Dodge, tear up the streets, not the planet. Fiat, it's only green when it's green for all. Jeep, zero emission freedom. So they have these little sayings. Ram, built to serve a sustainable planet. They came up with all these little sayings for each brand. And as I said, there are going to be 4 platforms that will include the small at 300 miles, the medium at 440 miles of range, the large at 500 miles, and then I guess the extra large at 500 miles as well.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
and again, 500 miles is a long drive if you're going to do it in one day.
Yeah, it's a long drive if you're going to do it in one day. Plus, you get that charging of 20 miles in a minute. So, in 10 minutes, you've got 200 more miles. Now, certain vehicles were revealed, including the Jeep 4xe that will get one of these platforms. So they did talk about that. The Grand Cherokee, 5th generation Grand Cherokee, will be getting this platform. One of the first to get this platform. It looks like a Grand Cherokee with a battery charging flap on its front fender, doesn't it?
It does, and there's a great picture of their own charging station, big solar array. Really cool.
Yeah, really cool. And that is definitely a go, and it will be revealed officially at the 2021 New York International Auto Show, which I hope to attend because that will be right in New York in August, Les Jackson.
That'll be what, like 6 weeks,
Something like 6 weeks.
4 weeks.
Something like that. And we'll be seeing a lot of electric vehicles from a lot of manufacturers. Yeah. I have to remember how to walk around an auto show. It's been so long, so.
You better make sure you have comfortable shoes.
That's it. I'm going to break them in.
I'm going to guess, I'm going to predict that 45% of everything there will be electric.
Interesting prediction. We'll talk more about this when we come back on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
Yeah, welcome back to Cruise Control. I'm Les. He's Fred. We just have to talk about this, Fred. It is the return of the Fratzog, and I know that you have a Fratzog poster in your office from back in high school.
Well, it's just a word that makes you laugh, doesn't it?
It's a funny word. It's an interesting word because it's something that makes you think of any number of different images.
Yes, but the image you should think of is the logo from the old days of Dodge. Matter of fact, it was, I think it came out in 1962 on a Polara 500. And it's kind of hard to tell when they used it up to, but at least through the 70s, and it was replaced by the Pentastar, which I think is a pretty cool logo. But I posted up an interesting article about it from Jason Torchinsky, who is at Jalopnik. And why we're bringing this up is the fact that Dodge had a whole video, and I also posted that up at our Cruise Control Radio Facebook page. They had a whole video yesterday, posted up about this new Dodge vehicle. We don't know the name, but they put a teaser video up, and it had the Fratzog lit up on its grill, from what we could see, and in the taillights.
Okay, well, that's cool. By the way, the word was made up by one of the designers back in 62. Just a made-up word, very much like Tornado.
Tornado, Chevelle.
The old Tornado was just made-up word.
Yeah, nothing real, just a made-up word. But this Dodge vehicle that they're talking about American muscle, and it's going to be electric and horsepower well beyond what the Hellcat has this logo on it, has it lit up. It's very interesting. I watched the video, and I invite everyone to go over and watch the video on our Cruise Control Radio Facebook page. They use references to the Hammerhead shark. I'm wondering if it's going to be called Hammerhead. And they also Tim Kinesis, who is the head of Dodge, walks over, and there is a classic Coke bottle Charger there. I think it was a 68. And he walks up to that and looks at it. So if you look at this teaser video, it looks like it could be like a 68 Charger type of vehicle. So who knows? Those are clues. What do you think? It's going to come out in 2024, and I would estimate probably have 1,000 horsepower at least.
I'm thinking 1,000. I'm thinking you'll see some sort of a teaser at the New York Auto Show.
Yeah. Right now it's just a shadowy image.
Right.
You can kind of make out a flat grill. As I said, you can make out the taillights with the Fratzog in them. But it's going to be exciting. And they say, why will we make an electric car? Because they're feeling that they got as much out of the internal combustion engine as they could, and they need to go there for performance. That's how it was pitched.
And I'm gonna predict this. That if they have a display of that Charger-ish product, and they talk about Fratzog, and they have a big display of the logo, I predict they're going to have a hot dog stand there giving out frat dogs. You watch.
All right.
'Cause they've done this before. You remember, they've done this before.
They have. It will be that. Although with COVID and that, I don't know if they'll be able to give out food. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know, but certainly exciting. Certainly exciting times.
It is.
And I kind of didn't think we got as much information as we would have been getting. Remember, we had Bob Broderdorf on from Dodge, and he said, it's going to be super exciting. It is, but we don't really know that much, do we?
Well, the idea is to create a buzz.
Put electricity in the air. How's that?
Puts electricity in the air. I feel static around me.
I'm kind of charged up about it. How about you?
Yeah, I find it rather shocking.
Okay, we'll stop before everyone gets sick.
We promise no more.
Yeah, but we'll certainly be talking more about the Fratzog And whether it's called the Hammerhead, the Barracuda, or something else.
See, I love Barracuda. That was a great name for a car.
Yeah. Well, there was that talk. There was, remember when they interviewed some people from then FCA, 60 Minutes, and there was a car that everyone thought was the Barracuda behind them, sort of in the little defocused look, and it sort of looks, from what I remember, I'd have to go back and look at the 60-minute piece, but it sort of looks like what they're presenting now. I wouldn't be too surprised if bits and pieces of that were moved forward. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah. Hey, you're listening to Cruise Control. We're glad you're along for the ride. I'm Fred Staub. He's Les Jackson. A little bit of a look at what's going on at Stellantis as far as electric vehicles. But now let's bring you back to vehicles that are currently being produced. And news this week that the Cadillac Escalade is being de-chipped. And this is interesting, Les. I never thought about a chip controlling that. But beginning July 5th, their essential feature will be removed from Cadillac, and you probably didn't even know it was there. What it is if you're parked on a hill, the vehicle forces the tires to curve in so that they'll hit the curb so it doesn't go down the hill. This happens automatically. Now, I remember they always told people in San Francisco to turn their wheel in, and if in case the emergency brake works or the pin in the transmission brakes, it would just roll right into the curb.
That's right. It would drift right back into the bay.
Yeah. Well, now apparently new vehicles do this.
I didn't know this.
I didn't know this. At least some new vehicles did this. They don't anymore. This comes from the GM Authority, and they will be manufactured without the electronic steering column lock feature. And that is the feature that turns the wheels into the curb when you park on a hill.
Don't you always still turn your wheels to the curb when you park on a hill?
I do, but apparently certain vehicles will do it for you. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, but I hope I think everybody does it. So, yeah, you're right. I think, well, nobody knows that feature is there.
No, but now they'll really miss it, I bet. I believe they give them $50 off because it's not there. So there you go.
Yeah, and somebody will hire a lawyer and sue GM because it's not there.
Right. They'll have their car roll down the hill somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly. But better news over at Ford, they have secured a chip supply and are able to complete their F-150 pickups, which is good news for them. They had been building up in parking lots around the plants, and now they've found a supply of chips, and they will start rolling these things out in complete form. Sounds like a marketing opportunity to me. We don't sell you an incomplete pickup like our competitors.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But if you're waiting on your F-150, it could be coming to a dealer near you very soon. Hey, when we come back, we've got a heck of a lot more to go. Musk blowing your mind, talking tech, and all that and more on Cruise Control. So stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. We are taking you on a ride around the automotive industry. We've been covering all kinds of developments this week, tons of them, matter of fact. And here's one more, Les Jackson, because today Elon Musk says, I am going to blow Les Jackson's mind.
Well, Elon, between us friends, no, you're not. Well, what he's talking about is Beta 9, which is autonomous software.
But it's not completely autonomous. It's not level 5. It's not hands off, watch a video while your vehicle drives around. It is more like something like Super Cruise or some of the other models, right?
Yeah, it's level 5 minus
3.
1.5. Yeah.
But he did pitch it as full self-driving. That's what he pitched it as.
Well, he's pitched all of this as self-driving for several years. It's not, and it's misrepresentation. It's also a little bit dangerous because some people just believe that, and say, okay, it'll drive itself.
And then they try it from the back seat of their vehicle, and doesn't go so well. So
some have ended up in level 0.
Level 0 of driving, yeah.
Which is, not quite alive anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that it's all smoke and mirrors sometimes. It's just the big circus show, and people buy that. I mean, that's
sure.
And this is something that's going to be an over-the-air update. By the way, if you do an over-the-air update like that, and now your car has these new features and there's new buttons on your screen, does anyone bother to train anyone or say watch this video, or does it just pop up and it's like you shut your car down one night, you fire up in the morning, and everything's in a different place?
Well, I think that the latter is the case, and I don't know anyone who's currently driving a Tesla and testing these things out. We can't.
They don't
have Tesla doesn't provide vehicles for us experts to actually test.
Right.
They don't even have a PR person.
No, they don't. They don't see the need
so
to do that.
That kind of tells you, to me, that you're hiding reality.
Well, yeah, they don't want anyone to call something out like, why is this way, or why is it that way? They just want to say that's the way it is and ask no questions.
That's right. But the people that have looked at this carefully and tested it, and organizations like Consumer Reports that actually buy these vehicles, they've ascertained, no, this is not level 5. It is not fully autonomous. It has some features, but it doesn't have everything.
I would say that means Les Jackson's mind will not be blown today by Elon Musk.
No, all it does is ring my skeptical meter a little much higher up toward the red zone.
All right.
But that's how Elon and I have communicated for a number of years.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to something that couldn't be more different than the last story we were talking about. This week, GM finally killed off the last CD player in its new vehicles. And it was in the the GMC Express and GMC Savannah. Those are the legacy vans that are still there, still operating, and still being produced. they had CD players, Les Jackson, and now they don't have them. Now, this is according to GM Authority. Many, when they got their new Sierra, which was the last vehicle to lose it before the Savannah, were disappointed when they didn't have it. But think about it. I mean, if you had that in a vehicle and you like that and you're not familiar, maybe you don't have a smartphone, so you can't do Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I mean, this was a definitive way. I take an item out of a case, I shove it into the radio, and it plays music. What I'm wondering is if people will start adding CD players back to their cars and vehicles. You know,
Yep.
I want the 20 CD rack in the back. Remember those things?
That's right. They used to be in the trunk.
Yeah, you'd load it.
Multiple CD racks, a lot of, big equipment.
Yeah.
Now, when was the last not 8-track, when was the last compact disc player in a car?
You mean a cassette player?
A cassette player, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I would say I remember driving Lexus vehicles that had both a CD player and a cassette player. And I
late
remember
90s.
late 90s, and I remember thinking, when will the cassette player go away? And it just eventually did, but I thought nobody used it at all that I could think of. And because audio cassettes, especially mass-produced audio cassettes, the ones you did at home, if you did them right, were pretty decent, but the mass-produced ones were not great audio quality.
No, and it sat in the worst environment in a car with extremes of temperature and humidity, and they broke all the time.
They broke all the time, and typically you would get it stuck in that player.
You always carried a pencil so you could stick it in the little
sprocket
loose, in the socket, and turn it to rewind the tape.
That had been pulled out. Yeah. So there you have it. If you want a CD player, you're going to have to try to add one to it. I guess you could. I really guess you could. You could do like a Bluetooth controlled one in your trunk with, outputting Bluetooth to the radio. I don't know. I guess somebody will sell that somewhere.
I will consult the J.C. Whitney catalog later today.
It also comes with peel and stick chrome trim.
Chrome exhaust tips. Yep.
That's right. More performance for your vehicle. So interesting stuff. Now, completely different once again. We're going to talk a little tech. Lithium, of course, you and I have talked about lithium, the need for a lot of lithium for lithium-ion batteries. There was one story that Germany found a cauldron of bubbling lithium under the Rhine River, and they were going to mine it. Because right now, lithium comes from some places that probably are using kids to mine it, doesn't it?
Yes. Sadly, it comes from places that have little or no environmental rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible to think that goes on, but it does.
So let's talk a little tech. This is called the Hell's Kitchen project. Now, if you're from New York, you would think Hell's Kitchen is on the west side of Manhattan, but that's not the Hell's Kitchen that we're talking about. This is a facility that has come up with new ways to build lithium, create lithium. It will be sourced in part from California, which means that it's certainly not going to be people just ripping it up. This is the Salton Sea geothermal field that is located in Imperial, California. And GM is investing in this to do something called a closed-loop direct extraction process that will recover lithium from geothermal brine. Seems like the ultimate put-down, Les. If they called you, you're nothing but geothermal brine. It just sounds like you're calling someone out there, doesn't it?
I've been called much worse than that.
Yeah. Most lithium currently is mined and processed outside of the U.S. I think the manufacturers have learned their lesson. You don't want to have a supplier of a key component not be under some kind of control, and you need multiple sources of it, because
That's
this
right.
chip thing really upset the apple cart, and I think they realized, hey, that's not going to work anymore, right?
That is true. And lithium, again, is a toxic material.
So
It's toxic to produce it. It's toxic to refine it.
so you got to be careful. Hey, we will be right back with Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Les and Fred here. Hey, Fred,
Hey,
another
Les.
milestone. Another milestone was reached this week
Yes.
in the industry.
Yes. And our friends at Subaru are very excited about it, aren't they?
They are. They just produced their 20 millionth all-wheel drive vehicle. 20 million.
That's crazy. That was achieved in June 2021, which is it's just amazing. You think about these things. They account for 98% of Subaru's global sales.
Right.
All of these models with all-wheel drive. Pretty neat, right?
It is. And they, if you think about it, the original VW Beetle sold 21 million.
Yep.
Model T Ford, 15 million.
Yeah.
So it's way up there with super popular vehicles.
Yes, it is. It is really, really neat stuff. You look at the drivetrain, and it's on two subframes. It's really interesting, isn't it?
It is, because they were able to make it not only efficient, but inexpensive.
Yeah, that's and capable. I mean, next hour I'm going to review the Wilderness Outback edition, and I think that is probably one of their most capable all-wheel drive vehicles.
Well,
of course, trivia contest question here. There is one Subaru vehicle that is not all-wheel drive that is currently sold, and what is it, Les Jackson?
It is the except what's the new name of it?
BRZ.
Okay, so BRZ, I'm thinking of Toyota, which Toyota's model of that is the 86.
Right.
Which used to be the FC.
I know it. A TC something. I don't know it.
Yeah. Anyway.
An 86 is just weird.
Yeah, that's a rear-wheel drive, inexpensive little sports coupe.
Yeah. And the only vehicle in their lineup that is not all-wheel drive, even if you get one of their small sedans, dare I say it, I said the word sedan. Even if you get a small sedan, it is all-wheel drive. And that is cool stuff. So 20 millionth, congratulations, Subaru. That is good news. Good news. Hey, here's something. If you're buying a car, and if you are right now, it is a difficult time, but NHTSA unveiled a easy-to-use auto recall search tool. You go over to NHTSA.gov, and it's a online dashboard that will help you quickly determine if your vehicle had a recall, and then you can figure out if your vehicle has had the recall handled. I still have to say, Les, I don't understand why car dealers don't have to handle, before they sell a car, why they don't have to have the recall handled. Why is that?
Well, I think they do if it's on the lot. I think they do have to do the recall before they sell it.
I don't think they do for some reason. I don't know why that is.
Check.
I think it's a good thing because most people are not going to think to do that, and I don't think they have to do it. I don't know why, though. That's my question. We'll have to find out about that.
If they don't have to do it, then it's because they've lobbied for that ability. Obviously, if they don't do it, it's an excuse to bring the customer back and try to sell them something.
Buy a new car. Why to handle the recall? Buy a new car, right? You have to replace an airbag. You should just buy a new car instead of the used one you just bought. I'll give you a good trade-in on it.
Yeah. But I'm going to check on that.
Okay.
And the other thing that I just checked on this week, have you noticed that you see a lot of cars with a yellow sticker on the back that says student driver?
No.
Now that I've told you, you will. We've
Really?
been noticing it for the last couple months. So I checked, and it turns out that most of the mid-Atlantic states, as of January 1st, made it a requirement for people that are young, new drivers, and anyone getting a driver's license who has no previous driver's license, they have to have that yellow sticker.
I think some of our automotive journalist colleagues, we could put that on this.
I have a list of names right here. But that's a good idea. The idea is to let the public know, okay, look, cut this person a little slack. They're not highly experienced drivers.
And they probably think they are, which is the worst.
Of course they do.
Well, that brings to mind a friend who bought a Wrangler. She had never driven a manual. She was driving it home from the dealership, and she put a little sign in the back window that said, "Hey, I'm new to driving a manual," meaning don't pull up tight to the bumper.
Yeah,
that's
right.
I might stall it out. I thought it was a good idea, right?
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Except that half the drivers behind them say, "What's a manual?"
What's a manual? Yeah, I was talking to the driver that delivered my press car this week, and this is a big company that delivers a lot of brands. I said, "How many manuals do you currently have in the fleet?" And he said 2.
I think that's about right everywhere.
Yeah, and I said I haven't had a manual transmission vehicle from a manufacturer in probably a couple of years.
I just a couple of weeks back, I had both of the manual cars.
Yeah, because you're one of the
They
only
said,
ones.
well, we're happy to bring these out to you because otherwise they just sit.
Exactly. Pretty interesting, the turn, how that goes. This is another thing that we should talk about. Announced this week, no more Trackhawk, no more Hellcat-powered Jeep Grand Cherokee. I remember when that came out. I think I went on the event for this.
That was only 3 years ago.
I smell future collectible. What do you smell?
Boy, you know it.
Yeah. And this comes from Mopar Insiders. They just said the next high-performance engine could be a turbo 6-cylinder, straight 6. So,
yeah,
we'll have to see. It's not going to be the Hellcat anymore. But yes, future collectible for sure. So if you have one of those, hang on to it and don't haul wood on the roof. Right, Les Jackson?
Yeah.
I know you're still shocked about the CD player going away, but we can figure out a way to put one into your vehicle.
I'm gonna have to stack up all my vinyl records.
Remember when they had record players in cars? That
was a
bad idea.
I was a young kid, but they and every once in a while you'd see one in a car, and you'd ask the person, "Well, how does it work?" And you say, "Well, as long as I'm standing still, it works fine."
Yeah, Cadillac was big for that. Apparently, the hot items, if you have a '59 Cadillac, are the record player, and there's a makeup kit that goes in the glove box. So you got to have
and a
those
tissue dispenser.
Yes. Got to have those. And Twilight Sentinel. I used to like that name on Cadillac. It turned your lights on.
Yeah, that was the stalk up on the
Yes.
top of the dash with an electric eye in it.
Yep. Well, we appreciate you listening to Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com, where you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Leroy Fratzog.
We're going to see you down the road.
Bye.